up on me bitch.
Getting that mean green, yeah.
She on me bitch.
Big body, fuck a nigga cause I'm ready. Then I'm ghosting, he be looking for a bitch like Machiavelli. Got the drip, I leave a peppy, eat it up like Mount Spaghetti. Got the drip, I leave a peppy, eat it up, it's nice and wetty. Best buds, what it do? It's your girl Mary Jane. And tonight, I finally got it right for you, okay? Tonight, we're going to do something new though. Yo, let me tell you something. Like, the night I was checking my email, right? And I kept looking at my email like, what is this? What is this? Like, what are these weird questions popping up in my email? And, like, I started reading the questions, and I'm like, some of this stuff is insane. So I took a closer look and wound up finding out that it was coming from something called Quora, if I'm not mistaken. Quora. Let me make sure I'm spelling that right, saying that right. Quora, yeah. And then when I went to like look at the questions on the website, it really encourages you to get the app. I mean, I was reading some of the app like comments on the review part, like when you go to the Play Store, somebody was like, I cannot believe that they made me get the app. For some reason, they want us all to be in this app asking all these questions. Asking all these questions. Making statements. Assuming. I couldn't think of what he was saying, but yeah. So, I got a little bright idea. Bing! A light definitely went off in my little head. My big head, medium, whatever whatever your preference is, that you think my head shape is. Because some people, they see it little, some people see it big. I don't know why. But yeah. We're going to read and answer some of these freaking questions. So, I'm hoping like maybe if you are recently, I mean these questions look pretty recent to me. But then, some of them don't. Some of them, what I'm seeing is, because I'm new to this app, so please, if I'm using it wrong, do not kill me. This is new. This is a new idea. And what I'm seeing is some of the questions are indeed old questions, but they're still popular. Like this one, it says, what does no one tell you about hospitals? So now, people are like, definitely giving a lot of answers. Do you want to know what people don't tell you? I'll just read a little bit of this. They put a sheet over your head to cover your face. They put you in a body bag before they're brought to the morgue. Typically, they leave the patient in their bed and they let them lay there like they were still alive. Oh, they don't put a sheet over your head. I'm sorry, I just like dove in the middle. I thought I was like getting little random facts, but yeah, they do not put a sheet over your head. They just leave you there. And I worked in a nursing home, so I'm going to go ahead and back that up a little. So I worked in a nursing home that had hospice, and they prepare you like for death. So I'm assuming it's the same all across the board. You know what I'm saying? I don't think they're one step down. I think it's even. Hospice is hospice. Like, we're preparing you to die. And when I prepared one of my patients to die, well, she was already dead, and I did the pre-rigor mortis cleaning and all of this stuff. Like, after I cleaned her, I covered her up. You're right. She was just covered there, and I don't know how long. No. Someone might have came in behind me and covered her face, but I just cleaned her, dressed her, and laid her in the bed like she was alive. They still like leave the diaper on you because they still have to have like that last bowel movement, that last pee. After the fact, I don't know what they did, but when I left her in the room, it was definitely like she was still alive because I dressed her. I did all of her care, her pre-mortal care. So they do that. The reasoning behind this is that if you see someone pushing a gurney with a body who is completely covered, everyone knows that it's a dead patient. And this can freak some people out. Not covering up the patient's face usually fools most people into thinking that a patient is just being transported
from one unit to another. I found this out after working in the hospital and seeing our security officer pushing a gurney with a man on it down the hall. After 10 minutes, the officer was still chatting nonchalantly, and I was like, don't you have to get this guy somewhere? He goes, I've got time. He's going to the morgue. When I asked why they didn't cover the patient's face, the officer laughed. You thought he was sleeping the whole time. Ooh, that sounds a little creepy. So basically, I've probably went past, and you too, in the hospital, some dead people and didn't even know it. That is freaky, okay? I think next time, definitely, I'm going to be looking a little bit closer if hospitals ever get back to how they used to be, okay? If they ever get back to how they used to be, definitely. Okay, so let's see. Someone actually asked, what is the name of the song that goes like na 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 na? Like somebody actually asked that. And to answer your question, I don't know. It doesn't have like a name who asked this, but to answer your question, I think it's Gwen Stefani. If I was a rich girl, I do know about music. It is like, yeah. So I like how they have that. And then some people answered, let's see what they said. Could also be So What by Pink. I don't know. I gotta listen to that song. I think I've heard So What. I don't know if that's even a Pink song. Don't get me wrong. I don't know. But hey, what else are they saying? Oh Na 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 is a song by Nigerian recording artist Slim Burner. The song was produced, mixed, and mastered by Slim Burner with full lyrics of this song at Metro Lyrics. Okay, he went the dancehall way, Afro reggae way. I don't know about Slim Burner either, but we can definitely kind of like, on our own time, go and revisit that. I mean, not read, but visit that and see what that's all about. They write, but the first thing popped in my mind was If I Was a Rich Girl by Gwen Stefani. Okay, so we're going to go to the next question. I'm not going to get too wrapped up in that one. The next one, alright. What is the most difficult conversation I've ever had with a member of my family? I would say the most difficult conversation would probably have been talking to my mother, trying to get answers out of her that I've always wanted to know from childhood, a lot from teenagehood, that I couldn't quite get a clear answer to, or even like respect that I was asking that question and I still wanted to know and get closure. Just asking a question brought difficulty to me. Like just asking those questions. So those were very difficult times for me in my life with a parent. I mean, I don't even think that was a question. The question was a difficult conversation. Yeah, that was like the most difficult conversation. And I don't want to get too into my details, but just, a lot of things happened when I was growing up and I really didn't get over and I needed closure. And those moments was like difficult. So just imagine that. Just like put yourself in the shoes of someone trying to get closure, answers to things that probably still haunt them or bother them or affect them to this day. And someone is able to answer those questions and they're not, and they're like calling you names and all that for wanting to know certain things. Yeah, that's the difficulty that I experienced. Okay, so to hear this person's story, to take a little bit of slack off of mine, let's hear what Dawn Crump, which is a manager, had to say about this. So it broke my heart, but I had to talk to my son about why we don't stay at his house when we come to visit Michigan anymore. You see, we used to stay there all the time and even go there to take care of their kids when they went home, when they went away alone. We loved spending time with them and the children. Then things seemed to change. His wife didn't act like she wanted us around anymore, and the kids were really getting to be disrespectful to their parents as well as us. When we had the opportunity to start staying with our son, we chose to do that. We had a little dog adopt us, and they didn't want him around even though they had a dog. Their kids liked our little dog instead of their big dog. I could see why. Our dog looked like a puppy and loved to play. Anyway, our other son accepted our dog as well as us. It was just easier with him because we weren't judged at his house. It got to the point that we felt that she began to think she was better than us, so she just kept judging us and not even talking to us when we were around. It got to the point if we were sitting and having a conversation with one of the kids or our son, that she would demand that they do this or that to get them away from us. This is probably jumbled up a bit because it is still hard to figure out, and it still hurts. She said it still hurts. Okay, so let me help you out a little bit, Dawn. First of all, when someone acts as if they are better than me, they no longer exist in my realm. Okay, my realm is organic, and I sit at a place that no one else's energy is going to affect me. And if it does, then I have to remove myself. Now, being as though she's married to your son and you birthed that son, you should have instilled family hierarchy and priorities. Yes, that is your wife, but if it wasn't for the mom, he wouldn't be here to marry her and produce further generations into the family. And I feel like when you have that family closeness and family love, it all kind of makes the people that have that negative energy fall into place or either, fall out of place. And I feel like if you hold on more to the family type of core, then those people that like to unravel your situation, your family, your love, your relationships will fall off. Because what winds up happening is these people kind of pull, or they find a way to put wedges in your family. Your family becomes isolated within their own little families, and then it's like clicked up. You know what I'm saying? So this person don't see this, and it's all because of the people that they married to. Families are a tree, okay? Before the families can branch off into another tree, have your tree strong rooted and have the right things set up into that system. And then when things like this happen, you won't have to worry about nobody else. I mean, even if that interference is trying to interfere, it's not going to do too much damage because your family is already rooted, okay? So that means that branch is going to die or is going to get stronger and built onto the family because they're going to recognize, I can't break this, okay? And your son, before he even would have had kids by her, would have recognized that and saw that, because I'm pretty sure it started with a conversation or some things could have been said. So, nip it in the bud. Nip it in the bud. But, I've learned that. So, Dawn, hopefully, if you're out there, you watching Eastside Mary Jane, like, subscribe, comment, take a little bit of my experience, and hopefully you can use it. Let's go to the next question. The next question is from Christopher Campbell. He is a IT director. And he has a question that says, why is America still getting thousands of coronavirus cases per day if they have been locked down for weeks? And, okay, so I have a couple of theories. I don't know, I'm not even going to say, hey, I specifically know why, but I'm giving my opinion. Okay? It's an opinion, guys. Don't be mad at me. One thing, it could be propaganda. This could be lies. We could be being lied to about some things. Two, you still got people going outside. You know what I'm saying? People are still going outside regardless of the 8 o'clock curfews. We're not fully quarantined. People still go outside from the time the crack of dawn all the way up to 8 and even after 8 o'clock for essential reasons. So it's not like we're all quarantined in our bubble and life has stopped completely. People still are outside. Not only that, I saw where they were saying cats can get it. I don't know if any other animals are out there getting it, but the cat's getting it. So, and they said if the cats got it, that it was from human to cat. So I don't know if cat to human can happen, but you know, now it's in the animal kingdom. So things are starting to kind of take the shape of its own when it comes to this corona thing. So I don't know. Let's see what the people had to say about this stuff. So, natural selection. Most of the idiots you talk about are Trump supporters. They will probably result in many of his votes not being around by November. Hold up. Are we talking about the same thing? Okay. So let's read. He was saying that his brother and his roommate's son had puppies last night, and a friend of his came by to purchase 2 of them. This guy chews tobacco. He spits all over our yard and driveway. Then, upon his departure, tried to shake my hand, and did shake my brother's hand. I hosed down the whole front yard immediately upon his departure. You'll see these kinds of things everywhere, every day. I see couples shopping with their small children. I saw a guy scratching scratchers that was practically humping the garage or the garbage can outside of 7-Eleven. That garbage is disgusting on a good day. I see kids out on their bikes all over the place, obviously not siblings. My brother drives strippers for a living, the kind that come to you home. I guess he meant to your. They have refused to come and flown under the radar. Their business is booming. People are ordering strippers like crazy. I've been bombarded on dating apps by prostitutes. When I go to the store, I either pay cash or use a card machine. Everybody touches the green button. No store disinfects it. I personally treat my left hand like a plague bearer and carefully disinfect it when I get back to the car. There is no way too big part of the population that will believe anything Trump says. My daughter's Latino in-laws also believe this to be a Democratic hoax. They have their house full of family even when they're sick. We aren't testing hard. He dry snitching. We aren't testing hardly at all. There are probably an additional 4 million people in the U.S. undiagnosed walking around. Gotta keep those numbers good. Okay, so then the guy went in to say Trump supporters, and then he's like, Owen is like, I guess that's the guy. No. Someone else is like, my family votes Democrat. At this time, they have a problem with Joe. Go figure. They also cringe when voting for Hillary. Those feelings have nothing to do with Trump. November will be interesting and educational. Someone says, sigh, I hear this hoax bullshit every day at my job as a nurse. My parents were nurses. If my dad hadn't gotten encephalitis, he would be at the ICU now, risking his life just like you are. My head is off to you. Okay. Well, I do not mean you as a nurse. Who knows, I guess I'm supposed to say, about infection and the way it goes. If you get infected, you definitely have all of my fullest respect. Okay, so that's what people are saying. Why, you know, that was the first thing I said, hoax. The nurses, I don't know. I feel like, I don't even want to give my conspiracies, okay? So we're just going to keep it moving. Okay, here's a good one. I asked my boss for a raise, and this happened last year, of course, in January. Okay, so he said I didn't deserve it. So I sent my resignation letter. Now he is asking me to stay with a higher salary. Should I accept his offer? I'm going to think about this before I answer it. And first of all, I'm gonna say that your boss thought you was a joke. And I feel like a lot of people, you know, they got to take these leaps of faith and stand up for themselves, or they'll never see the power or their worth. And Apparently, Wesley knew his worth because he put in the resign. He gave him the letter to resign. You know what I'm saying? The boss, it shook him at the boots. You know what I'm saying? And if I was Wesley, I wouldn't have not been able to respect my boss the same because it took him to almost lose him for him to be like, oh my gosh, now I gotta really give him what he worth. But then at the same time, sometimes in relationships, it takes for people to almost lose somebody for them to realize what they have. So it's a lesson learned on both ends. So I would say, yeah, because it's something that he wanted in the first place. And even if it took him to walk away from that job, he proved to his boss that he knew his worth, which probably made his boss respect him a little bit more. Even though Wesley could turn around and look at his boss like, yo, I don't even fuck with you like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure Wesley is a stand-up guy and he's not going to do that. But he probably laughs. He probably laughed. You know what I'm saying? Let's see what Wesley did and what people had to say about that. And he worked at Bill Young Productions. So let's see. So let him explain. Let's go in a little bit further. So let me explain how this works from your boss's point of view. I hire you for $40,000 per year. Just for example, I have no idea what numbers you're working with, okay? You come to me and say, give me $45K per year. I don't have that budget. I don't have a budget for that, so I say no. You come to me and I say I quit. Now here's what I'm thinking. I need your job done. You are prepared to leave. It will take me 30 to 60 days to recruit and train someone else to replace you. I can accept you quit and annoy the other staff to cover your job while I scramble to recruit someone else. And they may or may not be the right person, but I need a warm body right now. Or I can say I'll give you the $45K per year, take my time recruiting a good candidate, and in 90 days show you the door, and it costs me an extra $1,250, not exactly right after Social Security, matching and other things, but just for example, I have not annoyed the other staff by making them cover your job and took my time and really found a good replacement for you. That's just how it works. If you want that extra 3 months, by all means, take it. But make no mistake, you're done here either way. So what do you think? I think Wesley didn't take it just because of that. And let's see what people had to say about this. Someone said you're missing a key element. In the question, they specified that their boss said they don't deserve the raise. That's not the same as not having the budget. And then Wesley goes on to say, I didn't miss it, but in the context, we're beyond it. That discussion is over. Now we are on to the discussion about whether or not to accept a counter offer. And you know what? He think like me. I'm progressive, I'm forward moving, and I get what he's saying. Then someone else said, one has to wonder why the boss never told the employee he wasn't up to par. Yeah, that's an assumption on my part, but if the boss was worth his salt, he'd have been coaching this employee to improve. If so, the employee is toast. Also wondering if the employee has another job lined up. Sometimes the boss is a jerk. Sometimes the employee feels he's a lot better than he is. I left the job many years ago because the boss was a jerk for a job that paid exactly the same but a better title. That job led me to the job that started out paying 20% more, and it had real benefits attached. But the real benefit was that the company valued all of its employees, and that's the type of company I like working for. I like to be pat on the back, pat on the ass, all of that stuff. Throw in a few dollars. Girl, you're doing your job good. Throw a piece of chicken in my mouth, get back to work. Yeah, 10 minutes for a nap. That kind of stuff. So, Roy, we're on the same team. By the way, the jerk boss called me 3 times over 2 years later to see if I would farm out some of my excess work to his company. Wow. So, yeah, here is a boss not knowing what they had, letting their employee walk off. In this instant, I feel like even if this guy accepted the job, he was smart enough to have his ducks in a row because he was smart enough to test this guy and be like, hey, I'm giving you my letter to resign. So I feel like he's prepared for whatever is to happen, you know. he did ask this question, but these people are going to toss this thing back and forth like it's a volleyball. Okay, baby? And we ain't going to spend too much time riding that wave. We're going to get on with the next question. This caught my attention, but we're not about to get creepy tonight. We ain't even about to get creepy. Let's go to the next thing. It's a lot of movie questions. Okay. This one is a little funny. What's the etiquette for feeding a babysitter? They're looking after your kids, so shouldn't you feed them? And this is asked by Melanie Knight. She's a BA in psychology, BS computer science, and an ISTJ, also a Capricorn. And she wants to know if she should feed her babysitter. I would definitely say, just like if I was a manager at a fast food place or any type of restaurant and I had people working over my food, I'm going to feed my staff. I'm going to keep them happy, a happy belly. They won't be stealing from me. They won't be doing none of that cruddy stuff. And that is it. They will get a meal. Anything else beyond that, they'll have to pay for. No family things. As far as my babysitter, you taking care of my kids. If this girl is hungry, she's working, and she's at my house for 8 hours, you know what I'm saying? First of all, I'm going to make sure she's straight. You need a couple dollars. You want to order out for food? I can give you a couple dollars before I go out of your money now. Or you can make, whatever. Like, I don't know if she know how to cook, but whatever the thing is, I'm going to make sure that she is straight. Whether I cook dinner for them, have it out, yeah, go ahead, have some. Whether, whatever it is, I'm going to make sure that babysitter is straight because she is looking after my kids and I want her to be happy. I want her spirit to be high. I want her to really like me, engage with me so that she will take care of my kids and I can really trust her. I want to genuinely be able to know that my babysitter is not going to my refrigerator, not sneaking through my things. And the more I give her, the less she got to go looking for. You feel me? Making sure she's okay. I don't want her looking through my stuff and she's supposed to be looking after my kids. So to answer that question, Melanie, I would definitely feed my babysitter. So let's go on to see what Melanie had to say. I don't know what the etiquette is, but I can tell you what we did in the 90s. When we had a babysitter and went out to eat, we would bring the sitter a dessert. And one fancy restaurant didn't allow to-go orders, so we couldn't take her anything, as she had become accustomed to. That was a bummer. We only had one child, by the way, which, if she knocked that child out hard enough, ain't nobody else to tell a story. And I'm not sure what we would have left the sitter for dinner, not knowing her taste or dietary restrictions. Maybe we should have asked. Still, I think it would worked out for her to eat afterward, and she certainly could have bought her a packed meal with her. Maybe she didn't have one. All I recall, we paid her $10 an hour, which was pretty good then. I remember not wanting to skip on someone who was taking care of our child. Exactly. Topic shift. I keep our freezer stocked with a few items for when our now adult daughter pet sits during her lunch hour. She lives everywhere. She's vegan, so I need to take that into account. It's a win-win. She doesn't have to pack a lunch that day, and we still pay her the normal pet sitting rate. Update. If your kids are older and eat regular food that the babysitter would like, and you leave food for the babysitter to give them, I guess, then leave enough for the babysitter too. Agreed, girl. Agreed, Melanie. Feed your babysitters, okay? Not too many people even commented on this, but let me read a couple of what was said. All right. I think you should provide food for your babysitter. If he or she is working through lunch or dinner, then they should be fed accordingly. If they are babysitting outside or away from regular meal times, then provide them with snacks. They could have been coming from another job or school and may not have had a chance to eat. I used to do a lot of babysitting as a teenager and was always left with snacks or meals. You don't want to leave the person in charge of your kids with an empty stomach. No one can focus while they are hungry. Hello, say that again. And she could have bought a packed meal, really? She was bummed the time you didn't bring her dessert because she was hungry. I babysat for years and years, and every single family always gave me free run of the kitchen and encouraged me to eat if I was hungry. I wouldn't have babysat for a family if they didn't feed me. That's just plain rude. And I agree, Caitlin. She called a hangry attack and a hangry attitude. And I definitely agree with Caitlin on that. I mean, come on now. You got to feed your babysitter. Come on, Melanie. Do you want your babysitter to bite your child? You come home and your baby had bites all up in her. I mean, because some of these people really have bubble heads. I mean, some people just don't know. I don't know. I'm not even going to judge because I don't know the background, but I can say they got a bubble head, right? I don't know. Anyway, I had fun with you tonight on Quora. I had so much fun, guys, and I want to do this with you again. So make sure you like, subscribe, and share my video tonight. Okay? It's Eastside Mary Jane. Thank you for joining me tonight. I love you, best buds. Let the smoke.
Mary Jane Beats.